Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So, greetings everybody. I see there's a number of folks here on the comments. Today's just kind of one of these more unofficial types of shows. So we're going to be talking about, we're going to read through some comments, and we're going to once again talk about what is wrong with ElementaryOS, because I irritated an ElementaryOS fanboy, and I just want to address the issues. I don't think Elementary is the worst distro ever. I just think it's not very good, and I'm going to talk about why. But we'll also have a look at the host file, how to use that, and etc, etc, etc. So, greetings everybody. So, Political Monkey says, I'm always at work when I do these. Can I do one tomorrow? Maybe. If I hear back from Political Monkey on a good time to do a live stream tomorrow, and it fits in my schedule, I'll go ahead and do a live stream tomorrow. Sounds good to me. Hello, Isaiah. Q1, how's it going? Pizza, pizza, pizza. All right, let's see. So apparently, Pizza knows someone, or Pizza is connected with someone who used to work at CoinHive, who quit because allegedly, and I did not know this is an education, apparently the way Bitcoin mining works is they're running equations which are actually attempts to crack encryption keys. If that's true, yeah, I hope cryptocurrency dies. That's interesting. Oh, let's see. Techno-Bismal, greetings. And Mohammed, hello. Davey Lauren, hello. Need your help with something. All right, let me know what. Lucid Theming, hello there. So yeah, sudo Linux is installing Gentoo. Well, we may not see sudo for a couple of weeks. Oh, boy. Let's see. Analog, how are you? Talk to him every second of your life. All right. Only say for like 20 minutes because we were going somewhere. All right. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. DistroTube, how's it going there? Beautiful people. Beautiful people. Ever read Marilyn Manson's book, A Long Hard Road Out of Hell? That is the creepiest book I've ever read in my life. It was research for a book that I have sitting in 95% manuscript mode, but that is a creepy book. If you want to read a book that freaks you out, take a look at Marilyn Manson's book, Long Road Out of Hell, I think it's called. Whatever. Marilyn Manson Hell, you'll find it. No. Hello, KO2610. And Labus, hello. A lot of new folks on here. Downloaded Elubuntu, love it. Mint did not work so good. Oh, bummer. All right, but yeah, Elubuntu's not too bad. I run that on my banking computer, runs Elubuntu. Keegan, how's it going? Elajaro, hello. Showdown Linux Lite versus MX Linux. See if I can find a notepad here. Show ideas. I'm going to write down some show ideas here. So show ideas. Linux Lite versus MX Linux Showdown. Sounds good. Somebody also recommended a top 5 file managers. Top 5 file managers. And I like that idea too. All right, let's see. Hello, XB, the PC nerd. Robert, been rocking Manjaro. First experience of Linux, like it. Yeah, Manjaro's pretty sweet. Once tried installing Arch, couldn't figure out how to partition the disk and gave up. Okay, what's the best distro for work and good quality video and game playback? Like as far as video and stuff playback, just make sure you're primarily using usually Firefox, I find, is still the best web browser for video playback. Chrome might do better, but I have philosophical issues with Chrome, so I don't generally have Chrome installed on things. But Firefox is very good. As far as distro, you just want something that has codecs built in well. So Mint does, but if Mint didn't work out for you. Another one, if Mint doesn't work for you, one you might want to try is Karora, which is Fedora that works. Basically, Fedora with all the codecs and things built in. That might be one to look at as well. And I actually have not had problems with most of your Ubuntu branch with that. I do run some of that stuff on Debian, is installed on my Media PC computer right now. That one, I see a few little jumps and divots in there. It's not bad, but it's not the best. So that's it. Gentoo isn't that bad. Typically only 2 or 3 days. Oh, okay. So then we won't see sudo Linux for a few days. Sorry. Techno Bismal, let us know if sudo Linux dies or something. We'll send flowers, but, you know. Cats, dogs. Greetings. Ubuntu played 40p Linux. Windows played 2 something 2. Huh. Almost broke my existing Mint install. Considered on backing up and install Arch over it. Okay. Okay. I am well today, Chris. Rug Monkey, greetings. TechBismo getting new pet rat. Name's going to be Vim. Nice. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. You'll have to get Vim and Nano together. See who's better. I bet Nano's going to be better. Okay. Hackers add bounties for encryption keys. That's creepy. Yep. Top 5 Libre distros. Okay. Dave Lauren recommends Solus. Yeah, look into Solus if it works for you. Okay, so Solus frozen here. Okay, well, that Solus wasn't good then. All right. Minimal Design. Hello, I'm Osama. Wish you a good day. Hey, thanks, Minimal Design or Osama. Crora isn't good for beginners. Ran it for a couple days. Okay, well, all right. Turned over my computer and couldn't move my computer or log in. Huh. What type of computer do you have? Maybe that might be good. All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and jump on into some comments. I had some fun comments I wanted to respond to, and a lot of these I've already read. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we got over here, though, in the comment world. So some of these are just very nice. Jano responds to my Ubuntu video, will run fast when it's on your hard drive. Yes, I concur. One of the things is, though, is that 1804, the daily build of 1804 works better than 1710 did on my hard drive. So that's kind of cool. That's encouraging. Very encouraged to see the progress with Ubuntu 1804. So that'll be kind of cool. Let's see. Yes, another comment in response to the Ubuntu video. That one had a lot of fascinating comments. Yes, Linux people are very privacy-centric. Not all the time, absolutely. I mean, there's guys that don't care, like Brian Lunduke he's possibly more radical than I am. I'm just not completely sure. Of course, the golden standard of total radical privacy-centric would be Richard Stallman. And I'm somewhere in that general camp. I mean, that's where I live over there. But then on the other end, you got like guys like Joe Collins, for example. He doesn't care quite as much. He uses Linux because it works, and that's an awesome thing. So that's something to look into. Thank you, Political Monkey. To answer your question, earlier anytime. I have a day off, 7:30 like usual is fine. Love to be able to participate for once. All right. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream on the Christian channel tomorrow at 9. I think I'm free otherwise, so maybe. Let's see, maybe 7 o'clock-ish tomorrow. I'll try and do maybe a 1-hour Linux one, and then we'll jump over and do a Christian one after that. That sounds good. I think I can pull off another live show this week. Sounds good. So yeah, tomorrow, live show, 7 o'clock, dedicated to Political Monkey. Do you have a topic for us, Political Monkey? Let me know if there is one. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and just come up with something. All right, Knee Dragon. This was a funny comment. About 4 minutes in, you want another scary one. Look at Robo Linux. And if I remember correctly, I think I wanted to look at Robo Linux at one point in time. I might still have it, in fact. I don't see it in my box there. So Robo Linux is kind of built for a lot of cross virtualization. They already have environments built in. I couldn't get all of it figured out. Didn't have the time to dig through and read through all the documentation. So Robo Linux is fascinating, but this is good. This is good. Why is it scary? It's fairly tidy Debian-based install. Okay. Quite tidy, professional. Has VirtualBox installed. Good, good. A couple of pre-installed environments, seemingly for Windows 7 and Windows XP, and I remember seeing that. It has Tor and some extra tools for Tor. It has BleachBit. Has a packet sniffer, but that's not all. The default desktop background shows a black F-22 stealth fighter, and I remember that. The login screen shows a graphic like, hello. Did you know Jesus loves you? And I do not recall seeing that, I can say. Now, who could possibly want this combination of stuff? It's not a security and pen testing distro, although it has a couple of those high-end security things. Let's say, pedophile collector was looking for a toolkit. Well, what do you want? Good morning, officer. Have you found Jesus yet? I love that comment. That's a good comment. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder at times. In fact, I'm going to boot up VirtualBox. No. If I was trying to work with it, it's not on this computer. I do have my Neth server over here. But yes, Knee Dragon, love the comment. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and love that comment. That's a good one. Looked at it briefly. Couldn't get anything good production-wise out of it. So that's that. So Mark says, again, response to the Ubuntu, borrowing from the Microsoft's playbook. I agree with you. It should be opt-in and not opt-out. The Canada law dictates it should be opt-in, but the law of Canada does not apply outside the country. And that's kind of how, you know, corrupt businessmen get around everything. Legal in this country. That's right. And so that's kind of the stuff that you get over there. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Canonical's data collection tools should all be opt-in, and it should not be installing popularity contest. Maybe ask if you want it installed, but I don't think it should be installing popularity contest out of the box. Cats and dogs. Kitty? I could do, let's see, for a website, I could do most of that for free. So this is in response to the crazy GoDaddy scammer, if you didn't watch that video. So this client of mine was paying $486 a year for services, of which $261 they've never used. Now, their recommendation, using GitHub and all these other things to host a small website, I would not recommend doing that in the world that I'm in, which is, you know, I'm a professional web developer, designer, and small business consultant. I wouldn't use those types of services for the particular types of sites we're building, especially since we're building a lot of database-driven sites. These aren't static sites I'm working with. But yeah, there are ways to post your sites without paying anything more than the domain name, and these are some ways to do that. But yeah, these businesses that keep on upselling everything that you don't even know, that the average person doesn't know what they're getting into or not. And that's the thing, is that for 8 years, these guys have been paying this whole bill. For 8 years, they've been paying $70 a year for an SSL that has never been set up on the account. GoDaddy should be refunding all of that money for 8 years. They should have some system in place to say, this SSL has never been set up to actually work on the domain. Maybe we should not be billing for it. But why bother? GoDaddy wants to rip off everyone they can, so screw GoDaddy. And that's exactly why we're pulling all of our stuff out of their dead ugly grips as we're going. All right, let's go ahead and jump over, look at some live comments at this point. All right, let's see. Fire Quantum built on top of Chrome code. Okay. Say Manjaro is a good way to progress to Arch. Okay, yeah, I agree. Quantum computers can break any encryption. Yeah, fortunately there aren't a ton of them. Nano is better, so it will win. Everyone already knows this. See, the thing is that if you know how to use Vim, it's allegedly more powerful. But the problem is figuring out how to use Vim. That kind of becomes the challenge. All right, Nano is better. Okay, let's see. I've had Solus OS installed. I have a Compaq. Okay, so Compaq would be an older computer. Is it a 32 or a 64-bit? I know Compaq name has not been used for, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 8 years. I don't think so. We're talking about you have a computer that has a good chance of being 32-bit, or a good chance, if it is 64, it's certainly an older computer and probably capped out in its RAM. If that's the case and you're looking for something, try running Peppermint. See if Peppermint does it for you. it might be a hardware limitation where you're running into. Hello, Linux Daily. Greetings. Sean, Elementary is great. And of course, we already answered Political Monkey's thing. We will be streaming tomorrow at 7 o'clock-ish. Unless something crazy comes up, that's what I'm going to plan to do. Okay, Sean, Elementary is great, except it has this dirty Ubuntu base, which is very evident. It needs to stand on it, on its own. See, I disagree that Elementary is great. I think it can be good for some people in some instances, but I'm going to detail why that is. Of course, if it works for you, great. That's the power of Linux. We have options. I do everything I do on Linux Mint and production environments because I have 0.0 problems with Linux Mint. Other distros I've had issues with. And so, you know, if it works for you, then that's great. It works for you. But I've run Elementary on a lot of different hardware, and I've never once gotten it to work well out of the box. But we're going to get more into that later. So we're going to come back and revisit that. Rose, greetings. MX17, one of the best Linux distros. I hear a Pure OS and Double web browser. No, I've not. Pure OS and Double web. Okay. Distro hopped after using Linux Mint, not satisfied with video playback. Yeah, I mean, check the specs in your computer. You may not have a computer that's capable of running bigger video. Can you list any of the computer specs that you have? Others, great interface. A little simplistic with the package installer being locked off. Okay. So yesterday I watched the entire Lunduke stream. Unfortunately, he only made it close to 11 hours. Okay, don't care for privacy online. Companies need to make money somehow, but when your operating system spies, that's a different story. That's right. As long as it's a service I can choose to use or choose not to use, you know what? Whatever. Some people are very happy giving more data in exchange for making their life easier. I get it. But I don't want that in my operating system, and I want the option to use that or not. Okay, no Linux Mint brings me back to Windows Vista days. I'm only 13. Ah, okay, well, welcome, man. Yeah, Vista, Windows, man. Man, you must have started on computers really young. Lunduke didn't install Temple OS like he said he would. Aw. RoboNuggy, greetings. Robo Linux has Robo in its name, so that's a plus. There you go. All right. They need to upgrade drivers for Mint. I noticed Ubuntu use my hardware in a good way, unlike Mint. Huh, Mint usually works pretty well, but I guess not in that case. Mint feels more like an OS where Elementary feels like a toy. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Doesn't really matter to me. Most of your streams are entertaining and interesting. We have a lot of common interests. Cool. Yeah, I'll find something. I'll find something to talk about tomorrow. Okay, Red Star OS Master Race. Okay. Billy Graham died because someone showed him Satanic Linux. Oh! Do you know how much weight an evangelist has with God? One Billy Graham. Good evening, Renard. How are you? Damiano. I do not remember you having Bionic Flying Bear. That's an interesting name change. I think Switch makes the best live streams. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ah, I lost my place again. Why did I lose my place again? Oh, YouTube really needs to fix this comment stream. All right. They've changed things. They just made it worse. Okay, top 5 distros: Mint, Manjaro, Ubuntu, Puppy Linux, Peppermint Linux. All right. Yeah, actually, the Kitty's operating system runs Puppy Linux. That's what he runs. He runs Puppy Linux. Tom called me a fanboy at the very beginning of the stream. Linux Daily, did I call you a fanboy? No. I irritated a different Elementary fanboy. It wasn't you. Gotta go soon. Can you please... Oh, how to use the host file quickly. Yes, yes, we will do that. Hopefully, Pizza, you are still on. Hopefully. All right, so using a host file on any computer, let me just do a quick internet search here for a host file. Looks like we're using... okay, I usually use this How To Geek because it has all operating systems. Not sure why we're on that screen. Hold on, I gotta fix my website screen. There it is. That's better. All right. Okay. So when you edit your host file, of course, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 7, etc. Follow that. Of course, they did miss a step on Windows. Any Windows operating system, you have to go into the folder properties first. Middle tab. Halfway down, there's an option to show file extensions. And if you're running Windows, you should always show your file extensions. Always. It's a security thing. That way, you know that that's really, you know, cool document.doc in your inbox, not cool document.doc.exe in your document. You know, in your email. You have to enable that. If you do not enable text extensions, you will not be able to save the host file in Windows. Make sure you fix that. Of course, here in Linux or in Mac, you just go in and, of course, I don't use Vim, I use Nano. But you want to go to the Etsy and the hosts. And then what you want to do is, there we go. Okay, so from here you want to go into you want to do sudo nano Etsy hosts, enter your password. Okay, and then what you are going to do is you are going to paste all of that host file into here. Now, that is a huge host file. This is probably going to take about 5 minutes to paste it in. If you are using a Linux distro that allows you to go into the folder and open something as root, so open as root if you have an option for that, that is faster to open the file up just on the text editor and do that. But all you need to do is paste this into your host file, save the file, and then that's going to block everything here. So the current version of that file all blocks session replay, it blocks Bitcoin miners. So actually it does look like this is the most recent, actually. And then a whole bunch of advertising stuff. And then what you'll see is as you go on different sites, you'll see anything that would otherwise be an ad will kind of just not show up. No, I'm not going to join your fan club. So that's how to use the hosts file on the computer. All right, let's jump back on over here. So Sean Patterson is trying to convince me that ElementaryOS is like the best operating system in the history of the world. And the reality is it's really not. A lot of people who've wanted to use Elementary really wanted to make it work, and it just wouldn't work well. One of the main factors is it is bipolar. It doesn't know who its target audience is. They want to, on the one hand, say ElementaryOS is for a new user, but if you install ElementaryOS and use it like a new user, i.e. avoid the terminal, things like that, you can't get the packages to update properly. The update manager crashes out. Changing your keyboard shortcuts freezes the system. You got to force power. I think you can actually turn it off another way, but it freezes the system. And there's several other places like that. You don't have any ability to customize the look or the feel of it. If you want to work off of the desktop, like many people do, if they're new to Linux, they're not used to a desktop you can't work on. If you want to enable that, you have to walk through the largest amount of steps I've ever seen on any distro to actually get the desktop to work. So on the one hand, it says it's for new users, but there's a lot of the core functions in the GUI that don't work. So if you look at these videos, and I didn't look at all of these videos, so let's go ahead and have a look at who some of these videos are. I have no idea what these videos are. Okay, Bob's Linux distros, Matt Hartley, Linux Quest, QuidSub, Code 6. Okay, so I'm familiar with QuidSub, I'm familiar with Linux Quest, I'm familiar with Matt Hartley. And I'm surprised I didn't see, I don't know if Lunduke did a full review on it. I know Matt Hartley is in the group of guys that what I would, a lot of your Linux cronies. These are guys, why does my thing keep moving back? My screen keeps moving back to, let's just go over here to that one. All right. Being too political. And again, Matt Hartley is a seasoned Linux user. He's going to install a distro, boot up a terminal, and run updates, because that's what we as conditioned, seasoned Linux guys expect to do. We want to go in and we want to install our Linux distro, boot up the terminal, because that's the best way to run your software. It's the best way to install things. It's the best way to update your system. A new user doesn't know what the terminal is or how to use it. And so when you have a distro, that we have this type of comment where this is such a great distro, I would like to know when he did his use of this distro, and all of these guys, did they use it like a new user? That's the fundamental question, because if you did, it will frustrate your socks off. It will frustrate your socks off because the updater doesn't work right. The installation frequently freezes and bugs out. You can't work off of the desktop. These are all things a new user are interested in. And to make any of this stuff work, it becomes this big bear of a thing. The next reason, so, and again, my opinion on ElementaryOS is very subjective, as are all of these guys' opinions are subjective. Okay? And some of these guys wouldn't say anything bad about any operating system. I want to be truthful, because when it comes down to the bottom line of it, is that when we are truthful about our distros, when we are truthful about what to expect, when we are truthful about the ease of use or the difficulty in use, then we will find a situation where we can be honest with the pros and the cons. I'm not going to fluff up a distro to be nice. I'm not going to badmouth a distro just to be mean. I'm going to give an honest opinion from multiple perspectives. Debian, not for a new user, but I love it. I'm running it right now, and actually I've been running it since I have taken Linux Mint Budgie off the computer. I've been running Debian. I'll tell you what the negatives are. I'll tell you what the positives are. The reality is I tried to give Elementary a good, fair shake as a new user and as a seasoned user. I ran into way too many problems. And then, as I have been critical over Elementary, addressing some of these issues, what I find in the comments is that somehow the Elementary team, not only did they manage to copy Apple's look, they managed to copy Apple's fan base. They produced this whole wide range of Elementary fanboys that are just like, Elementary's the best distro in the world, and it's crazy! I have no idea why this happened, what it did. And so what we ended up seeing in the midst of all this is in the comments, if you look at the comments of any of my Elementary videos, the first few comments that came out, there were a whole lot, or the first few videos that came out, there were a whole lot of people over that time period that said, I really wanted to give Elementary a fair shake. I just had too many problems. Over and over and over and over and over again. Over and over again. What it boils down to is 50% or so of the people who try Elementary have a great experience, and 50% that don't. A lot of those that have a great experience are not new Linux users. I have not found, I haven't been actively hunting, but I have not found a new Linux user who has used Elementary well. I haven't found it. I haven't been looking, but I haven't found it. Nobody's jumped onto my comments, in other words, and said, I'm a new Linux user and Elementary is the best thing there is. What I'm seeing is a lot of seasoned guys like Elementary. Not a lot of them run it, but they like it. That tells me they're not using it as a new user. And so we have this bipolar distro. It says it's for new users, but it's pretty much impossible for a new user to have a good experience on it. That seems to be it. Because when you install it and you boot up the terminal and you're doing all your basic stuff in the terminal, it's great. Now, let's talk about this. The spirit of Linux has been your own system, your own computer, customizing things. Every version of Elementary that comes out, they break the previous ways you had to fix something. Take Ubuntu. If I'm having a problem with Ubuntu and I search for how to fix it, it doesn't matter if the fix I find is from Ubuntu 11 or Ubuntu 18. It probably, high chance, is going to work. Because they're not breaking stuff. Look up how to install the tweak tools in Elementary. Every new version, they break the previous tweak tools. And so despite the distro, it does not even have a full release yet. Well, it's still 0.4 Loki. Despite not having a full distro yet, you will find inconsistent information on the user forums about how to fix certain things. People who want to add things and customize things with a tweak tool, the Elementary tweak tool, there is a different set of instructions for every set of Elementary because they keep on breaking it. People want to use the distro with customizability and they keep on breaking the way to customize it. That's a problem because it means that you're buying into the Apple philosophy, buying into that Apple philosophy going, we're going to use your computer the way we want you to use your computer, and that is not the heart of Linux. That is why Elementary is not a good distro. It just isn't. It's not the heart and the spirit of Linux. It says it's for new users, but new users can't use it like new users. All the people highly recommending it are not new users. They're not using it like a new user. I challenge you guys to use it like a new user. That means install the thing and you're not allowed to touch the terminal. Let's see how well you go. Chances are not very well. Because when I had that installed on my system, I had to live in the terminal to fix stuff. And I've tried it across different systems. So the same guy here left me. I'm going to come back to some other comments as well. The same guy, I mean, he's been leaving me comments on this all day. Gotta find another one. Okay, so this is fun here. You have got to be completely smacked out of your mind, and thousands others have installed, I and thousands others have installed in ElementaryOS on multiple computers and have never experienced the problems you're having. Well, you know what? Thousands of others have. Read the comments on all of my Elementary videos. You will find more people that have had a bad experience than a good experience. And I've had a lot of people thanking me for saying the truth, not just blowing OS fluff. I don't want to blow OS fluff because here's what I've learned. If I tell the truth about things, stuff gets fixed. It's shocking. I'm not going to pat you on your back. Now, I'm not going to tell you how stupid you are either, okay? But let's go on here. Have never experienced computers. 2 hours to get it installed? I don't think you're as good as you think you are. Let's analyze that thought for a moment. All of my networking in this office is done with Linux. I have an entire custom router built. Of course, that's pfSense, that's BSD. My entire media system feeding media all over this place is Linux. I'm running a lot of Linux computers around me. I have customized my Android ROMs. I think I know how to run Linux. But yes, it did take me 2 hours to get Elementary installed. The installer kept crashing and having problems. I don't know why, but it was. My 5-year-old son can install ElementaryOS successfully. Well, good for your 5-year-old son. Let's leave him out of it. I've never had updates crash. Did you do them through the GUI from the time it was first installed, or are you a seasoned Linux guy that's doing stuff in your terminals? I think you just love to hate Elementary. No, I'm being truthful about Elementary, and a lot of people have appreciated it. You're on an island with only a handful of people, because almost everyone raves about it, including YouTubers. Not correct. Not correct at all. Read the comments. Tons of people don't. As far as updates go, for a beginner, they're not going to care what the update is. But they might. They're definitely not going to read the changelog. Okay. Something an experienced Linux user would do. And again, one of those bipolar things. The experienced users are raving about it, but can't read the updates. It makes me wonder why. Also, did you know in Elementary, see, this is a fun little thing. Let's go ahead and jump back onto this screen for a second. Did you know that in Elementary, in pretty much every Linux, if I come over here and I do sudo, let's just go ahead and repeat the previous command I just did. If you come into almost any Linux distro and you type in your password, it leaves it blank. That's called a security feature. Did you know that the terminal on Elementary does not do that? It prints out the character number. It doesn't print your password, but prints out the character number for each thing in your password, which introduces inherent insecurity in the system. That's a fun little thing about Elementary. So of course, what you see the guy's doing, he has not addressed a single issue that I've had. Well, maybe he did. He addressed the update issue. That's the only thing. That video had a ton of issues why I'm not using Elementary. All he could do is attack me. You're just not good at installing Linux. That's called an ad hominem logical fallacy. Then he leaves me another one. I thought you were saying you're going to keep an unbiased review. My review was very unbiased. A lot of people have told me that. So many objective reviews that have mostly positive things to say. Well, I'm sorry, but your objective reviews are not objective. They're by fanboys who are blowing fluff. They're blowing fluff. Fluff. I'm not going to be the fluff blower. I don't want to be the fluff blower. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So I have my Linux Mint and Ubuntu disk so I can hop back as much as I want. All right. Fun fact, the Pirate Bay tried to buy an island to make their own country with no piracy laws. That's kind of cool. Aw, sick today. I'm sorry. Hope you get better. Kitty, you want to come and say hi, cats, dogs? Get well soon. All right. Okay, Vim is Q1 Fiend's favorite. It started as a challenge, became a love. There you go. Top 5 distros would be Mint, Ubuntu Mate, Debian, Solus, and maybe Antergos. There you go. Cat host file. Yep. 64-bit distro made in 2011. That's a laptop. Okay. 64-bit made in 2011. Okay. All right. Okay. So, cat STL block XC hosts. Okay, I've got a MacBook Pro 2010. What's your advice? Which distro should I use on it? You know, I have never installed a distro on a MacBook. Is there anyone else that would have better information? Go to Etsy file, change the host file. Yep. I have to be in the directory on the CLI. Okay. Linux Mint gave me -5 problems because it fixed the problems Windows had. There you go. Yep. Libre Secure, greetings. New subscriber, longtime lurker, watcher. How about a review of PureOS and or Tridsquell sometime? Let me write the other one down. I have PureOS on my list. Kitty, can I write, please? Pretty please? Of course not. The kitty's going to be I will look these up when I am looking at distros to review. Alright. Only problem I have with Mint is it's not pushing my hardware the way it's supposed to. I am an AMD C50 processor. It's old but good. Anyone else? But Mint's pretty much the only distro that has worked consistently on everything. Yeah, the Mint, there's a few hardware configurations that don't work well, but Mint for the most part does a pretty good job. Of course, I'm a Mint fanboy, of course, you know. All right, Sean, ElementaryOS is too simple, lacks breadth of other distros. Admin tools, simple package installers, yes. And I didn't even mention the fact that you can install PPAs despite it's Ubuntu-based. And if it's not in the system, good luck, because you can't install deb packages either. Not without making a lot of extra changes. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'd try Peppermint on that computer. That's what I would probably do. First OS I've used was Windows 98. Nice. Rat's name is going to be Vim. Nice. Just teasing the Ubuntu code name. Nice. Flying, but it's Beaver though. It's Bionic Flying Beaver. It's Beaver, not Bear. We need to make Kitty Linux. Kitty Linux? Expecting YouTube to fix anything ever. Yeah. Still the best platform, unfortunately, but, you know. Still laughing because when you said good evening, I thought you left. Oh. Pizza left, I believe. Pizza. Went to get pizza. Like to figure out how to make a live USB sticks with persistence. I've only been able to get Tails to work for me like that. That's a good question. That's a good project. Keegan, what distro should I try that on? I'll see if I can pull that off. Wonder why there's no Kitty Linux. Yeah, I don't know. Meow Linux. There you go. Tried to code Kitty Linux, but ended up naming too many mountains. Are you referencing the Oatmeal Volcano Kitty thing, Libre Secure? Okay, anyone know of a distro similar to Mac OS but plays well? No. Dare I say, look at Elementary. Might work for your configuration. Let's see. Gonna head out for a little bit. All right, man, we'll see ya. Who else thinks Xturn is gonna be bad? Actually, the Xturn developer contacted me. I'm gonna tell you what he said. Heard Deepin was great. I'm not a fan of Deepin. I want to give Deepin a fair shot at the computer, but I'm not sure. So tell him it actually does. I've been updating it via the App Center. It works fine, at least on my hardware. After you update Elementary with the terminal the first time, it should fix the App Center. But when you first install it and go to run updates, the App Center will generally crash. I've had that happen 3 or 4 different times, 3 or 4 different installs. After you've run an update in the terminal, then it seems to work. Yeah, when's the new Solus coming out? If it's close, I might wait until the new Solus comes out to try it again. Think pixeled stable something. ElementaryOS equals Pro, great for new Linux users. Awesome UI. What every distro should be like. Great UX design. Cons, too limited features. Okay, let's break that one down, Sean. ElementaryOS pros. Pros, great for new Linux users. I disagree. For the reasons I mentioned, a new Linux user is going to get frustrated that they can't put something on the desktop. Because every other operating system they're used to, you can work off the desktop. You need to be able to work off the desktop. Secondly, it does not have any of the system tools and utilities somebody might be looking for. disk utilities, any of those types of basic utilities aren't baked into the system. Other than basically photo viewers, music, video, of course, those are in there and they work great. But you don't have those items. There's a ton of those. As far as the UI, I think the UI is trash, and a lot of people do. All they did is made a Mac-looking UI. I don't think Mac is beautiful, and a lot of people don't either. It looks like, it looks like a Mac. It's horrible. And it looks like a knockoff Mac, which makes it worse. There's no minimize button. You have to get the tweaking tool installed to add the minimize button. People are going to look for a minimize button if they are new users. The UI is missing a lot. There's just too many issues with UI. Cons, too limited features, too simplistic, basic computer feel. That's the thing. That's why I say I don't think that there's a lot of advantages to it. The UI is completely subjective. I'm willing to grant that. But duplicating Mac's UI isn't the way to go. You know, Mac doesn't have a whole big user base. And a lot of people, I mean, there's some people that think Mac is beautiful. I don't. And a lot of people don't. And there's too many things they've forgotten about. Minimize button. Theming it. I mean, things like that. Forced to switch Linux because I deleted System 34 by downloading CCleaner. Oh, System 32, I guess. Huh, that shouldn't have gotten rid of... Okay, anyway. Epiphany crashes for me all the time. Yes. The one thing Epiphany web browser is good at, it's better than Chromium at playing YouTube videos. It's the only browser I've used on a... on that particular thumb key that doesn't stutter. But it's very slow. It's slow, but it works well. How dare you review distros as a professional adult from a practical standpoint? I know. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. But that's the thing, though, is that I didn't switch to Linux as a hobby or as a toy. I switched to Linux because I had a job to do and Windows was becoming unviable. That's why I switched to Linux. That's why this channel is more red pilly than it is tech stuff, necessarily. Tomcat Linux. Meow. Upgraded to Windows 10. Oh boy. Possible product key has been used by someone else or has been blacklisted. Yeah. Thought Elementary was a nice polished distro. Truthfully, though, I would never run it. I would never run it or their custom apps, but I'm not the kind of user they're targeting. English Bob likes Elementary, made a positive rant on it, but his main driver is Peppermint. I'm new and old to Linux. If I didn't break Windows, I wouldn't be here, but Linux is fast and secure because a scammer will most likely not hack a Linux PC, but they will hack a Windows or Mac. Yep. Red pill. Yep. Even the best distros, sometimes you have to use the terminal as a last resort. Correct. Gonna use SSD, but if I use it wrong, I could wear it out quickly. Tried Elementary today to the trackpad keeps freezing on me. That might be hardware stuff. There are some models of trackpad, and I forget which, that do not work on the original Ubuntu core. I know my my Lenovo S21E, it would probably not work if I tried it. And that's usually would be, well, if it was running the Ubuntu code, it'd be fixable by actually adding the proprietary drivers for it. If you have Elementary stuff and get some help. Well, if it works for you, it works for you. You know? What I'm sick of hearing is that Elementary is the best distro there is. Because it is based upon the comments, the reviews, and the things that I've seen, it objectively is not the best. It objectively is not the best. It is okay if it works for you. Fused for like 20 minutes while the password was not showing up, and I thought there was something wrong. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Elementary, but everyone has their preference. Yes, that's true. Linux Mint and Ubuntu are the only distros so far that worked for me in the computer. Okay. Tried ElementaryOS. Meh. Used to blow fluff to be a Windows fanboy. Your channel is one of the main ones that woke me up. Well, awesome. No problem, man. All right, let's jump over and have a look at the comments from the ElementaryOS developer. All right. So, of course, we reviewed the ElementaryOS, and my video was the ElementaryOS is scarier than Windows 10. So here's what the developer had to say. Let me actually just go ahead and double check this. This is probably going to reset my... Of course it's going to reset my thing. Yep. Okay. So, yep, this is the developer for ElementaryOS. So he says, I'm currently watching this. I'm a developer. And I'm not going to lie. The humor on the license agreement part is great. And I'm glad, you know, a lot of people have called and said that was great. And it was over the top. It was intentionally hyperbolic humor. I would like to point out I was the only developer working on the project at the time. Absolutely. And he does say he has recently has a team due to rising interest. And I hope that the videos that I did and other people have done has started to raise awareness so they can bring this in. Released it as a preview, so almost nothing works properly. Also about the news part, I hear you. It was a test thing. More options will be available. Awesome. Well, I want to see InfoWars now. InfoWars kind of scares me, but it'd be kind of neat. The whole thing wasn't supposed to get as big as it did, and I understand your frustrations. By the way, I think this is one of the best reviews of this yet, even though you might lack the background information. Good job. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. By the way, I've had to address most of this in several comments on several other videos and long essays, which, yeah, don't repeat those here. I can probably find some of those and put them in. Gist of it always is being extremely honest about every connection in the EULA, which literally none of the Linux distros do. I agree. Literally do nothing with the info as like a single dev and pretty much have no access to anything except if you use the personal assistant. So he does confirm that if you use the personal assistant, he does have access to that information. Everything else is the other tools that are built into the system. Absolutely. And I never went out of the way to look at it. The AI itself uses the information to approve itself, hence the collection. Again, you don't need to use it. Okay. And an edit. The news thing being forced on you is due to a bug I couldn't fix on time, so I decided to force it on you. It was just a preview, would not hurt anything. So that is going to be fixed. P.S. I care about your privacy and pretty much why I insist on using DuckDuckGo for anything whenever possible. Awesome. Very good. And that's exactly why the DuckDuckGo comment was in there. MusicBrainz is also a free open platform, hence why I choose to use it instead of like Spotify or something. Okay. I'm going to be adjusting beta 2 henceforth, so based on the feedback, such as people freaking out about the privacy thing. Awesome. So that's that. So let's see. So I wrote back, thanks for the comments. Glad the thing is getting larger, and good luck. I, for one, love the aesthetics. And I do. I mean, again, that's one of those things that's it's a subjective personal opinion, but I am surrounded by computers all day. I don't come into the office right when I wake up. I try and do some other exercise and things away from computers first, and then I hit the office. But once I hit my office, I am in front of computers until I go to sleep. So I want computers to look good, which is actually why I usually am running KDE over here, because I think that KDE is the most configurable system, so I can make it look the best. So at least when I look at this computer, I'm looking at something that I really like to look at. And I really did like the theming in ElementaryOS. Some people didn't, but that's okay. So I wrote, further, I for one love the aesthetics. Most people do not, but I hate this flat, plain color crap that's been going on for a while, and the look is actually refreshing to a person who sits in front of computers all day. And then I let him know, let me know when the next one's coming out, and I'll have a look at it again. So the ElementaryOS guy, he liked the fact that I did a good, balanced review. Do you see? Also, the Farron developer loves the fact that I do good balanced review, and there are at least 5 things in the operating system he corrected based on my honest reviews of it, because I don't blow fluff. When I see a review on some distro that's all exclusive positives, I start to question it. I question this every single time Apple comes out with a new product. How many Apple fanboys are doing fluff reviews about every new phone and every new device Apple comes out with? And I'm asking, I wanted to get a review to get an objective opinion, and all I got is a marketing ad. See, I'm not going to do a distro review that is a marketing ad. I'm going to do a review that is a review. Difference. So that's what the actual developer of the distro said. All right, and back on KDE Neon after running into some issues with Mint. Really miss having flat packs working out of the box, but because setting up is still a pain. I don't actually use flat packs, even though I have it on my other computer. This computer is still 18.2 because it's a development computer, or it's a video production computer. I'm not messing with it. I don't want anything to screw with it. All right. Nice thing about Linux is one can always encounter distro they like. Absolutely. Someone tell me why Linux can't open .exe files like Windows, because they are completely different cores. You can install Wine that would open most exe files, but you are also opening yourself up to the potential of running Windows viruses too. So use Wine only if you have to. The Intellectual Monk says, hello everyone. Greetings, Intellectual Monk. Okay. Use Fedora on my MacBook and it works fine. Okay, there you go. Hope they just skip version 8 and go directly with 9, the release of 1804. Even RMS wants a new Trisquel. So your views on DeepinOS. I've only looked at one DeepinOS. I don't know what version it is. I am not a fan of the Deepin desktop. I want to give it a couple weeks run on my computer to see if it grows on me at all. Like I know Budgie did. Budgie grew on me quite a bit. I really like Budgie. It gets boring after a while, but I do like it. Deepin, I'm not a fan, but I haven't run it enough to have a full view and opinion. I'm not as concerned that it's a Chinese-based product because it is an open source code and people have looked into, is it doing something bad? And it's not. Joe, greetings. Just stepped out of the office to get a cup of tea and heard Tom yelling. Dogs can't run MRIs, but cats can. Kitty, can you run an MRI? You can, huh? Yeah, Kitty's up here. Kitty's up here running an MRI. Okay, what's the meaning of life? I mean, an OS. Is it tinkering and tuning or being a platform for software and getting things done? KO2610, that is the question of the hour. Again, I came to Linux because I work on computers. And I've worked on computers as an independent freelancer for, I want to say I'm going on 8 years now. That is scary. Better part of a decade, I've been a freelance computer developer. And with Windows 7... I liked it. Windows 8, I'm like, not really liking this. But the only thing about Windows 8.1 I did not care for is why are they pushing this OneDrive crap on me? Windows 10 came out. I'm like, ain't going there. Nope. Not going there. Got to find another way to get my stuff done. Do I want to switch to Mac? Nope. Mac and trash. Nope. Linux. And so I switched to Linux. And so I'm not a Linux user because I'm this geeky computer guy who tinkers with computers for fun. I have a job to do. And I have to use my computer to get my job done. I cannot spend an entire day. If I want to spend an entire day getting a computer working, I would just install Windows again. But I had to figure out a way to get a computer that worked. That's why I use Linux Mint, because I don't have to fight with it much. It turns out that most Linux distros you don't have to fight with. If all of my systems completely died, I could still be up and running in 25 minutes in the morning. Because all my files are saved on backup drives, redundant drives. I could download any old distro. Doesn't matter if it's Elementary or Ubuntu or Mint or whatever else. I could spin that bad boy up on a live system, install the quick applications I need, get my day's job done, close the computer down at the end of the day, and repeat tomorrow if necessary. That's why I use Linux. So if it's all about tinkering, you're a different person. If it's all about production, you're a different person. That's the fundamental question you need to answer for you. And then find the operating system that helps you for that. Suggestion for Ubuntu 18.10, Krabby Krab. There you go. I like it. Use Wine, but Windows can't open it. But Windows can open it straight up. Well, that's because Windows and Linux are completely different operating system types. And exe is specifically a Windows executable file. So that's why you need to have a compatibility layer. Kitty Linux, a distro that suddenly stops what it's doing and looks at its butt. Indeed, indeed. Try DeepinOS. Yes, it is on my list to do. Jonathan, greetings. And Joe, if I didn't say greetings to you as well. Isn't Deepin a desktop environment? Yes, Deepin is a desktop environment, but Deepin is also an OS. Deepin desktop environment is a desktop environment created for the DeepinOS, which is that Ubuntu based? I can't remember. Somebody that knows more about DeepinOS than I do. What is that for? DeepinOS is quite similar to Mac and very stable. Yes, if you are looking for a Mac type system, look at Deepin. Might be something that you like. Seen videos and articles of people making Ubuntu live sticks with persistence, so I tried Ubuntu and Xubuntu because they're lightweight with no luck. Well, Keegan, what I do for those is you just install it directly to the drive. In fact, I have a video about that. Let me find it for you. Which you don't actually have to... you don't have to use the... it doesn't have to be a live key. Okay. Keegan, incoming. So that is the distro that I use for my banking stuff. It's Ubuntu installed directly to a 16 gigabyte USB 3 flash drive that can be booted off of any computer. And of course, it's a fully encrypted disk drive. So it's not technically a live key with persistence. It's an actual installation on the thumb drive. So try that. See if that works for you. FairnOS is more like a Windows, I think, unless he added some... He might have actually added some Mac-like things. The other one that is Mac-like is ZorinOS, is another one you can look at. PerlOS is one, I believe, has a Mac environment. Okay. Catch you later. TotalOS, greetings. I thought I heard some screaming from the garage. Yep, that was me. There's PeachOS or something like that. I tried Elementary and really disliked it. Yeah, we're all just crazy over here. We're just Linux Mint fanboys. Forget about it. Forget about it. All right. All right. I've installed Linux in a few computers so far. Apple computers have been the easiest. Okay. No X-Files tonight. Oh, man. Did an ElementaryOS developer kick this guy's cat? I don't think so. No, it just doesn't work well everywhere I've tried to install it. TrueOS was the worst thing I've ever reviewed too. BSD fanboys hated my review, but the Lumina desktop is the worst. Oh, maybe I'll have to try for it. Maybe I'll get another group of people hating me. There you go. Sounds good, right? Jeez. Too many comments. Too many comments. All right. Let's see. Got traumatic experience out earlier. Are you okay? Need to talk about it? We're here. I've had my Asus notebook. The update feature works and the installer works. Okay, so ElementaryOS works on the HP Envy. Okay, it's good to know. Running out of CDs. Yeah, I just put them on USB drives is what I do. Lost my USB, had a bootleg version of Windows 7 on it. Was going to try and restore my computer with that, but you can't run it from... Can't run away from Linux. Kobayashi, greetings. Actually tried Elementary on a couple Windows users I know, and the first thing both of them told me is they didn't like, as they couldn't understand how to place icons on the desktop. So if you are using Elementary and you really want, or you want to use Elementary, and that's the thing holding you back, you need to install Nautilus, and then you need to install the deconfiguration editor, and then there is a key to add that I don't remember what it is, but if you look at one of my Elementary videos, I show you exactly how to set that up. So you can set it up. It's kind of a pain, but you can set it up. The lack of minimize button threw them off as well. Yep. Can't stand unnecessary blur, so I cannot use external OS, considering very blurry window minute with 90% blur. I guess maybe if he had different themes, that would be an awesome thing. What is the best desktop environment? I don't know. I mean, if you're looking for an objective best, I mean, I don't think you can have an objective best because we have different workflows and you might want different things. A lot of people like GNOME. But a lot of people hate it. No customizability. All the customizability there is external extensions made by third parties. And so that always raises an issue. I personally, for work production environments, I absolutely go to Cinnamon. For media PC computers, things like that, I use KDE. Those are my favorites because of KDE has a lot more customizability. Cinnamon doesn't have a ton of customizability, but you can customize the theming, the appearance of it, and you can set it up just like a Windows environment, and that's where I'm highly productive. So that's why I personally use Cinnamon, but KDE can also be set up either as a Mac or as a Windows setup. You can make it look like the ugliest, flattest operating system you've ever seen, or you can duplicate the old Windows 95. You can make something completely different and transparent. That's the power of KDE. Tons of options in KDE. Some people don't like it because of the options. And so there is no absolute best. I did do a video on desktop environments, though, on Monday. You can check that video out. Greetings, new Linux user. It's going well. Saw the Kali Linux video. Loved it. You said Kali Mi Shakti. By the way, do you understand what it means? I know. Yes, the one that looks best to you and allows you to get your work done fast is the best. Yes, there you go. We don't need no exe extension, the system knows. So if you need help with any tools, okay, good. Run with the dolphin, greetings. Run with the dolphin, you're with MX? You're with one of those distros, I forget. I think we had some questions about those earlier. Okay. It's personal preference, depends on your system apps availability. Yes, per function over looks. I have GNOME now, I want to try something else. Windows 8.1 actually felt more polished to me than Windows 10. Possibly. I don't know. After Windows 7, the whole Windows thing for me just went... I got one eyeball up, one eyeball down, etc., etc. When you build websites for clients, do you test with Safari on iOS and macOS? Yes, that is actually precisely why I have a Mac and an iPhone and an iPad in the office. Yes, I do. Generally, you don't need to as much anymore, particularly with the frameworks that I have been building over the last several years. But yes, I always still do test them with that. Deepin is based on Debian. Okay, good to know. Like your work, I'm pretty savvy Linux user for years now. I may have a video idea, make a video about viruses and malware since you're pretty ignoramus about it. Let me look into that. And thanks for watching. Doing TotalOS today. Have a joint appearance plan soon. We make it up as we go, Tim. I think I'm free my usual times, though. Probably Saturday is when I'm free, or Sunday after like 10 this week. You recommend a file backup program for a local Ubuntu server. I'm working on... Ubuntu has its own backup system plugged in that I'm pretty sure would interface with a local server. Your review earlier about 1804 was great. Got me running Ubuntu again. Awesome. Yeah, and I guess Wayland blows. My cat is watching with me. Kitty, meow. All right. Finally reached the end of the comments. Anarita, greetings. Yeah. We're not getting anywhere else there. Here we are, Linux Mint fans. Yep. What file system to use? I'm actually planning a video on that. Different people say different things. I personally prefer Nemo, despite it does have a few limitations, but works the closest the way I want to. Actually, the best file system that I've seen as far as transferring files, file manipulation, stuff like that I've ever used was on the original Ubuntu Unity. Outside of that, I like Nemo best. I hate Nautilus and GNOME. Hate that thing. Let's see. Dolphin. Like, Dolphin is what's on KDE. I'm not a fan of Dolphin, but it's not too bad. Kitty's flowing hair all over the place up here. Get too much hair all over the place. I have an HP Envy laptop. Mint XFCE runs beautifully. Makes me cry with happiness. Sweet. Mint Mate is my daily driver. I have an Elementary on a 2012 Chromebook. Awesome. How's it running? Is that running good, Truth? Okay, when Mint fixes video playback, I will run it because Ubuntu can play 480 video. Well, I mean, I'm thinking you have a hardware limitation, particularly with an older computer like that. That's probably where your limitation is. You know, of course, mine I play, you know, 4K or HD for sure. Drinking mint tea, eating mint ice cream on my Linux Mint PC, watching Mint users with Mint Brothers. Awesome, Isaiah. I have tea, but I don't have mint tea today. I did have a mint sundae today, though. Join the i3 dark side. Working hard, and I can tell because your beard is getting long. Yeah. Last time I grew a long beard, my mother loved it, so I shaved it off. I look like a bushwhacker, though. I grow this big, full, thick monster of a thing. For Elementary, there's an app in the App Center called Desktop Folder, I believe allows use of desktops, but I haven't played with it yet. Wow. Does it still work? We're Elementary fans. Yeah, I find your lack of mint and faith disturbing. Yeah. No, Luke, I am your father. Do you know that's the most misquoted Star Wars line ever? He does not say, I am your father. He says, no, Luke, I am your father. "13 Go Postal. For a novice user like myself, Mint Cinnamon installed extremely simple. I'm running Gambit of distros based on your videos. Awesome. Blu-ray rip like make MKV on Linux. Handbrake might be able to rip it if you had a DVD-ROM capable of that. But I don't know. Founder of ElementaryOS is a big fan of the "it's not a bug, it's a feature" philosophy, and I think that really shows. Yeah, I concur. I concur. I think they're Apple fanboys that wanted an Apple version of Elementary. Interceptor, greetings. Quick question. Have you noticed any real performance hits by installing to USB as opposed to HDD? Yes. You will encounter some. So I'm running Debian like that over here. And one of the things that you will find is about every minute or two, you'll get like a 2 or 3 second lag where the system kind of stops and then restarts. Now it gets progressively worse with age of the USB drive. And so that will cause some stability issues. If you do want an external, installing to an external, a USB external hard drive will run completely flawlessly, but running to a CD key, you will occasionally have a few bugs with it because they're not as fast and as fluid with the memory. You'll also wear them out a little bit quicker. But for the most part, it's generally okay. It is just something that you will find a small performance hit in that respect. Reviewed Manjaro, XFCE, and KDE yesterday. XFCE was using around 300 megabytes of memory, KDE around 500. That sounds about right. Saying Windows 8.1 shell never crash for me like Windows does. Okay, never crashed. Yes, I agree. I don't think I've ever had a problem with Windows 8.1 crashing on me. Windows 10, I've seen that multiple times. What's the cat's names? That one is CJ. I have another cat named TJ, which is camera shy, so you rarely see her. Every now and again she shows up. What are my thoughts on Wayland? I think it sucks. It's just not ready yet. That's the thing. It's still kind of under development. They haven't got the bugs worked out, and so that's the thing with Wayland. Used to know a cat named Kitten. There's an Adventures in Odyssey where what's that woman's name? Wooten goes in and I think the episode is called Just for the Fun of It. And she goes into, I forget that old lady's name. But every one of her animals is named after what it is. So this is cat, this is fish, this is dog. Yeah. Okay, kind of ironic, your Ubuntu 18.04 video. That X was way smoother than Wayland. It's supposed to be the opposite. You sure it wasn't a problem with NVIDIA drivers? I'm sure it wasn't a problem with NVIDIA drivers because I don't have NVIDIA on any of these computers. Of course, that was in a VirtualBox. That uses kind of like the VirtualBox setup. And on the computer I actually installed it on that I was having problems with, that is an AMD APU. The two Windows users who tried ElementaryOS and disliked it both gave Linux Mint Cinnamon and Xubuntu a try. One preferred XFCE, Ubuntu, the other liked Linux Mint Cinnamon. There you go. Mandela effect. Good evening, James Miller. You think about antivirus for Linux? You know, I did a video on that a while ago that caused quite a little bit of a controversy. I think that if Linux servers ran antivirus, it might solve a lot of our virus spreading problems. Because the thing is that if you're running all of these servers running Linux, and most servers do run Linux, they become carriers for viruses. The virus can't execute on them, but they can live on them perpetually. And so if you were to run ClamAV or something to parrot out those things on a Linux system, even though it won't execute on a Linux computer, it can exist on a Linux computer, you could potentially cut back the spread of viruses in the world. That's my take. Desktop? Depends on what you're using your desktop for. Can't post here. Posting links is banned. Let's see if I can grab your channel link. I thought I used to be able to click on something and oh, there you go. Copy link address. Let me verify that link address. Yes, that looks good. Intellectual Monk, your channel is in there. Is Windows even good anymore? Was it ever good? I think it was fine. I mean, they just got kind of crazy with they got crazy with their data collection, and so nope. A miracle happened, people. I made it to the bottom of the comments. Woohoo! Got them all. We're gonna leave it there, and let's go back and read some more of these ones. I think we'll probably wrap this up soon, though. I'd like to go eat dinner. I haven't done that yet. Let's see if there's anything else that was exciting. So, Serge says that Wayland works perfectly fine in Enlightenment on a Raspberry Pi. It works relatively well. So, yeah, go check out Fedora on... I remember hearing that Fedora and Wayland got along really well. I think the rest of the Linux community didn't. Serge's comments always land in my spam box because he always puts these comments here. I wish I could just, like, allow Serge's comments because he always has good links. So, thank you, Serge. Appreciate the links there. Let's see if there's anything else worthy of mentioning. This was a fun question. Oh, and somebody else responded. Curious, did your views about Ubuntu's data collection change slightly from back when you made your video? And I said, no. Research on the channel is you couldn't put such a question. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to delete the comment on that one. I apologize for that. Because it's a little hateful towards the person. I interpreted the question as an honest question. And the reason is, and I wouldn't have deleted the comment if it wasn't, it seemed a little too hateful and I didn't want that comment in the feed. So I apologize, Spotty Sylvia. I did want to delete that comment though, because I want to keep things clean. Because I think that's a very legitimate question. And the reason why that's a very legitimate question is I did the video about the Ubuntu data collection. And then a couple days later, I did a video about Ubuntu 18.04. And I showed the popularity contest app, how to install it, how to uninstall it. I did not show you how to activate it, but the little comment up there above that file I showed you shows you how to activate it should you want to participate. And that's a very good question. Very good question, because I made some hard statements about Ubuntu, and then a couple days later I watched the video, and I even said in the video somewhere, like, I might even give this a fair shake when it comes out. So is that a view question? That's a very legitimate question. And the answer is no. My opinion has not changed. In that I think that if Ubuntu wanted to collect this type of data, they should make it exclusively opt-in. If it's something that I accidentally miss a checkbox, I think that it should not be... something that I do without realizing it's doing it. So I have not changed my views on that. I have researched more and really honestly dug into it, identified and researched a lot about the 3 programs collecting data. But at the same token, it is a legitimate question because I did do the one video where I said this is kind of crazy, and I did the other video saying maybe I'll give this another shot. I can see where you'd ask it. But the answer is no. My opinion of the data collection on Ubuntu has not changed. I think they've lost their ever-loving mind. I think popularity contests should not be installed by default. I think that the thing, if it exists at all, and I don't think it should exist, it should be exclusively opt-in. And I think you should deal with the fact that, no, we don't necessarily know exactly how many Linux users, and maybe us Linux users like it that way. You know, that's my thoughts on that particular comment. All right. Virtual hugs banned too. Not on this channel, man. You can virtual hug all you want. And you don't even have to release immediately and take a few steps back. If you saw, what news station was that? I forget what news station that was. All right. How dare you assault me without getting prior consent? Oh. So I said, well, thanks for understanding. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like to keep my comments as civil as possible. I delete comments, or rather just don't approve comments that have a lot of vulgarity in them. I don't even like to approve the ones that have a little bit, but I will if it's one or two bad words. But I really try and keep my comments as civil and as polite as possible. You can disagree with me or anybody else on the board all you want. When you start throwing hate around, if you throw hate around on other people, I completely delete that. Throw hate on me, I will probably just call you out on it publicly and keep it there for a while. That's okay. But thank you for understanding. Which Linux OS do I use? I use Linux Mint Cinnamon for my production computers, which is this computer. I do video production, some graphic stuff, some 3D stuff, but mostly video production. My other computer is Linux Mint 18.3. This is 18.2. That one's 18.3. That one is exclusively a web design development and graphic design computer. I have one of my writing computers runs Peppermint OS. So those ones I use. And then this computer that you can't see because the comment box is in the way, this rotates desktops and distros every few weeks because I like a wide variety of experience on a lot of different distros. And I'm still debating what I'm going to run there next. Love these easy Arch distros, Antergos, Arch Merge, Anarchy. How can you go wrong? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Antergos. I do like Manjaro. Computer forever. Still, do you realize this question was a mean one? I don't. Let me see. I'm curious. Did your views about Ubuntu's data collection change slightly from back when you made your video? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see that as a bad question. I saw it as an honest question. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it with kid gloves. I don't know. I would use Arch. But you know what? That's the thing about us humans is we misinterpret things. This is why I hate texting. It's too difficult to interpret the meaning behind the meaning of a text. It's too difficult. We need more context. We need that human interaction, that direct communication. Even on a phone, you can hear it in the voice inflections. Or with a brief text or a brief question, it's difficult. How many computers do you have? I don't know. I have 2 primary web design computers, 2 primary desktops, 2 primary, 2 writing laptops, Raspberry Pi, a few other miscellaneous things. Because I'm a computer developer. That's why I have so many. And I have a little Mac. Oh, I have a Windows 10 computer down here, too. Where are you? There you are. That's my Windows 10 computer. It hasn't been booted up for 3 months, but it's a little crappy there. All right. Cinnamon is the best I heard. Mate was bad. I don't know. A lot of people like Mate. It's not my favorite for sure. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it. It's kind of run-of-the-mill for me. Tut, hug until your eyes pop out. Please do a video on System D. I know some people don't like it, but I'm not sure why. I'd have to research into it, but I'll see if it's something I can pull the research off on. If I can spell system. When you get into all of that kind of behind the scenes type stuff, I'm not as knowledgeable about that kind of stuff. But I mean, I've had to program a few things into it. Like my NAS runs a Debian-based server, and to get my my book server running on it, you actually have to edit systemd for that. Any type comment lacks any emotion or complexity behind it. Sound like an honest question to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw it as an honest question, but I mean, we interpret things different ways, I guess. Always check out the Arch Wiki. That could help you. Yeah. 3 computers, 2 running Linux, and a powerful PC, unfortunately running Windows 10. Sometimes you just need to use the Windows for some of the software, you know. There's legitimate reasons people need to use Windows and things. Tom, Linux would run nicely on that Windows 10 PC. Actually, I've considered setting that up as a web system because, like, on my Nextcloud system, if you have a Nextcloud set up, the only way to get Caliboro working with code is you have to run that through. You need to run that on a separate server. So you end up have to run 2 different servers to have a fully functioning Nextcloud server. And currently I'm running that on an AWS server. I've been thinking, just thinking about running that on this computer and just, you know, having another computer plugged in. Thought about it. Well, Anna Rita, I know there's a lot of computers, and that's, you know, I think militaristic or thinking minimalistic. Militaristically minimalistic mindset. Think of it this way, though. This is the only room that has clutter. Like, this room, if I shoot my cameras around, it looks really cluttery. Whoop, I gotta move my cameras around. Looks like there's a lot of clutter. There is, every other room in this house is like bare empty. It's actually kind of funny. So, this is the only room that actually looks like someone lives in the whole house. Platforms you develop websites on. Primarily, I am a WordPress guru. And I went there because more people wanted WordPress websites than anything else. Hey, Bitlocks. On top of WordPress, I build fully customized WordPress themes based on Bootstrap, is what I do. Comes the automated time shift backup I've been waiting for. It's true that Linux runs everything, pretty much. All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and call that a night. Let's see, we had a peak of 89 people watching today. We got to break that 100 sometime soon. Tomorrow, we will be streaming again, probably about 7 o'clock. Topic to be determined later. If anyone has any ideas, let them know here before I close this out or in the comments down below. We've had a peak, though, of 89, 68 on right now, 259 playbacks, average view duration, 24 minutes and 44 seconds. So that's pretty cool stats. Why would I want 10? Actually, Anna Rita, I have very logical reasons why. Number one is redundancy. If I have my main work system goes down, I don't want to have to spend a day suddenly because, you know, Murphy says that if I only have one work system and it goes down, it's going to be the day that I absolutely had a hard deadline. So if my main development computer goes down, I leave it right where it is. I set another computer right on top of it, plug in. I just literally swap the USB ports and boom, I'm in production again. I have, of course, one of the computers is for the Mac, so I can do Mac testing. One of them is that crappy Windows 10 computer in case I need to help somebody with something on Windows 10, God forbid. 2 computers for writing. Again, same purposes, cross-syncing devices and making sure I have redundancy built in. And then, of course, this computer here is the big and beefy one for doing this type of stuff, and the other one is kind of an all-purpose multimedia type thing. And, of course, one of these is considered the Raspberry Pi, which is, you know, my general stuff. So, all right, let's see. Feed the kitty. Yes, I will feed the kitty. Don't break protocol. I will not. Oh, kitty, kitty. Come on. Come on. It's time to break protocol. We're not breaking protocol. Come on. All right. Whoa. Whoa. Right there, right there. Oh, let's go on the other kitty. Go on the other kitty. There you go. And he gets one more, one more, one more, one more, one more. Oh, no, yeah, it's right here. It's right here. Aw. Are the finger looking good? Of course they are. Want to say bye-byes to everybody? Bye-byes, everyone. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And tomorrow we'll do another live stream. Actually, I'm doing a Christian live stream tomorrow, too, so I'll tell people about that as well. So thanks for hanging out. And again, once again, if you'd like to help support what we're doing, you can check out switch to Linux.com/support. All right, guys, we'll chat with you later.